You know what I mean? You got certain guys that are their relationships made them so powerful, like in our business, that they can't be moved.
Sean Carter is worse.
Uh-oh.
Oh man.
He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy.
Jay Z's career, you can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 16, 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go prior to that, one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys and shit. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them the things that
50 Cent just dropped a bombshell accusing Jay Z and Beyonce of some seriously shady stuff. Like, we're talking ritual sacrifices shady. According to 50, it seems like Jay and Bey are willing to go to the extreme lengths to keep their positions at the top of the game. Now, there seems to be some feud between 50 Cent and Jay Z that's been brewing for what feels like forever. But just when you thought it couldn't get any more intense, 50 spills the tea that he's not interested in burying the hatchet with Jay and Bey. Apparently, he's got some insider knowledge alleging that they've been sacrificing anyone who dares to stand in their way. And here's the kicker, not only is 50 pointing fingers at the power couple, because Kanye West has also thrown shade at the Carters as well, suggesting that they're not above using blackmail tactics to win awards. And if that wasn't enough, Kanye also hinted that those who speak out against them end up getting pushed to the sidelines in the industry. But there's some more drama because Jay Z and Beyonce's close friendship with Diddy is under the microscope again, and rumor has it that maybe, just maybe, Jay and Bey aren't as squeaky clean as they want us to think, especially with their ties to Diddy being in question. But what's really going on here? Does 50 Cent have the inside scoop on Jay Z and Beyonce's alleged dark deeds? And who are these unfortunate artists that supposedly had their careers and even lives destroyed by the Carters? Let's get into it, y'all.
Jay Z and them was putting it together. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
Now, y'all know for the longest time that Jay Z and Beyonce are like royalty in the music industry. I mean, if you hinted at saying something negative about them, you were immediately labeled a hater. But guess what? The whole untouchable image that they had is starting to crumble. Lately, there have been rumors and whispers from multiple insiders spilling the tea on the real Jay and Bey. And guess who's at the forefront of this expose? None other than 50 Cent. Word on the streets is that he's got some serious dirt on Jay Z and Beyonce, especially when it comes to their alleged involvement in some shady stuff happening in Hollywood. But let's rewind a little bit to understand the beef between 50 and Jay Z and this whole feud. It's been cooking for more than 2 decades, and it started innocently enough with some friendly competition, but things took a serious turn over time. Now remember How to Rob, that track that 50 dropped back in '99? Yeah, that's when he first took an aim at Jay, and of course Jay Z wasn't about to let that slide because he fired back on his "It's hot, some like it hot" with that now infamous line, "I'm about $1, what the F is 50 cents. But in 2002, Jay Z sat down for an interview with Angie Martinez, and he made it sound like everything was all good between him and 50. You know, like they'd patched things up and buried the hatchet.
He was like,
Wait,
yo,
who,
you know,
you and 50 Cent?
yeah, I respect your record. Yeah, I like that record. It was hot. But you know I gotta spank you dogs. That was the conversation. No doubt, do your thing.
Right. Gave each other a
Peace.
pound.
But let's be real, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Jay kept throwing subtle jabs at 50, and 50 wasn't having it. He accused Jay basically of buying his way to the top, which didn't sit well with him at all.
There's a huge difference in energy internationally in 50 Cent and Jay Z. In fact, his largest selling record sold 430-something thousand copies. My largest selling records, plural, 2 of them sold 5 million. That's Get Rich or Die Trying and Massacre. You know, so it's a huge difference in who we are with each other internationally. Let them be fooled in America and think there's a competition there, because America can be purchased. We can buy it with marketing dollars.
And then there's his whole God complex thing. According to 50, Jay-Z has a very big ego, thinking that he's some kind of modern day messiah. I mean, 50 even went as far as calling him out in a Rolling Stone interview in 2009, saying he has a king complex. He thinks he's effing Jesus, this Jehovah-ish. But wait, there's definitely more. In that same interview, 50 sent through another bombshell, accusing Jay-Z of betraying one of his own Rockefeller artists, Beanie Siegel. I think Jay was saying rock la familia, we family, it's the Rockefeller gang, and then using traditional business tactics. 50 Cent told Rolling Stone he didn't have their interests in mind. He was just doing what he had to do for himself. But 50 Cent isn't the only one calling out Jay-Z for allegedly bulldozing his way to the top. There's this former bodyguard, Uncle Ron, who's been making waves on TikTok lately. He's been dropping some serious bombshells claiming that Jay Z and Beyonce have left a trail of destroyed artists in the wake over the years.
I know so much about you and what you've done. I know so much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on many people. Beyonce, how you guys ended Carrie Hilson's career because she said something about you. That's how hateful you guys are, how you step on anybody to stay on the top. So remember, your relationship was a business relationship.
And then Kanye West, who spent years in close proximity to the Carters before they had a falling out, unleashed on Jay Z and Beyonce during an onstage rant in 2016, accusing them of using blackmail to win awards. And he even hinted that Jay is capable of deleting people who speak out. More recently, Kanye threw another curveball by suggesting that Beyonce and Jay Z are basically puppets of the elite. He pointed to Hollywood and how it seems like anyone connected to these big shot stars either ends up kicking the bucket or vanishing under some seriously sketchy circumstances.
You know what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay Z and Beyonce.
I know you, man.
But they can't control me. Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize.
And of course, Jaguar Wright, who also used to be Jay-Z's background singer in Inner Circle, appeared on his MTV Unplugged album as a background singer, spilling some serious tea in her viral interview on Real Life Productions. She alleged that a bunch of folks who were tight with Jay, like the late Harlem legend Big L, either ended up dead or had their careers completely wrecked. Also, Jay could make his way to the top.
Street battle in New York. But he didn't show up as Jay-Z, he didn't show up as the hottest rapper on the street. He showed up as a nigga that was with Big L.
Rest
For
in
those
peace.
of you.
Rest in peace, Big L.
Rest in peace, Big L.
One
That
of
was
the
the
dopest.
sensei.
One of the dopest. Yes.
Big L was who put Jay-Z on.
Without question.
And then Big L died, and then the next thing you know, Jay-Z. And then, you know, he starts clienteling with Tupac.
Now, speaking of the rumored industry sacrifices, there's this theory buzzing among fans that suggests Jay-Z might have sacrificed R&B legend Aaliyah to make room for Beyonce's rise to fame. But here's where it gets really crazy. Aaliyah's ex and Jay-Z's former business partner Dame Dash dropped a bombshell. He claimed that Jay was seriously trying to make a move on Aaliyah. But guess what? Aaliyah wasn't feeling him, and she actually liked Dame, and they dated a couple of years before Aaliyah's tragic death. That fateful day in 2001 when Aaliyah lost her life in a plane crash in the Bahamas. And guess who publicly declared their romance that same year? Yep, Jay Z and Beyonce. Not only that, but 2001 was also when Jay-Z's joint album with R. Kelly came out, and according to Dame Dash, Jay knew about the disgusting things R. Kelly did to Aaliyah before they recorded this project.
Just because that's what a man does, but it just was so much hurt for her to revisit it. It was like, I wouldn't even want to revisit it without a professional. Whatever got done was terrible. You remember the best of both worlds, you don't see my name on that. You know what I mean? And
your name is not on either album.
Hell no, I never wanted no parts of that. So when Holmes was doing that shit, I was like, bro, you know our homie violated, and he violated my girl. He violated a friend of yours. And because of the moral challenge and him choosing one way, I knew morally we weren't the same.
But the plot thickens because there are a lot of folks out there who genuinely believe that Aaliyah's death wasn't a tragic accident. Eyewitnesses even claimed that she was given some kind of sedative and was unconscious when she boarded the plane.
Fatal crash happened in the Bahamas. Kingsley Russell, who was 13 at the time, was in the car that drove Aaliyah and her team to the airport for their return flight to Miami. According to Kingsley Russell, they took her out of the van and she didn't even know she was getting boarded on a plane.
Oh, and let's definitely not overlook this bombshell from Mary J. Blige. She dropped a real head scratcher when she called Aaliyah's death a spiritual murder. Now, she didn't spill all the tea on what she meant by that, but it's pretty clear that she's got some insider knowledge about that plane crash that the rest of us just aren't privy to.
I just know that was a murder. You know what I'm saying? That was a spiritual murder, whether people know it or not, because God don't kill people. You know what I'm saying? Whether people know it or not. And I could go deep, but a lot of people I would have to really bring proof, you know what I'm saying, for what I learned. And she just was cut down in the prime of her life. And it's so unfair. And it wasn't time. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, I believe it wasn't her time to go, because from what I know, it ain't supposed to go down like that. And just simple obedience, like, you know, your gut always won you. That's that your gut never lies to you. And something like luggage and clothes and jewelry and all this madness that we worship is called false idols. We need to really look at the bigger picture right now and look at how
However, Aaliyah allegedly wasn't the only young woman in the industry who paid the price for turning down Jay Z. Around the same time Aaliyah died, Jay Z also sparked romance rumors with singer Maya after they collaborated on the remix of her hit song Best of Me. Now, producer Tone, one part of the track Masters, the duo who laid down beats for Best of Me, spilled the tea to Complex back in 2011, revealing that Jay Z wasn't exactly vibing with Maya in the studio. Tone hinted that Jay felt like Maya wasn't showing enough gratitude when he agreed to appear on her song. Tone said, Jay looked at her like, I'm about to rap on your record. You're about to have a hit, and I don't think you really appreciate it. According to Tone, Jay stormed out of the studio, and when he left, the producers went and told Maya, yo Maya, Jay wants to do the record, but he feels like you're not even giving him any love. Like, no thank you or none of that. Now, after that initial kerfuffle, Jay Z eventually came back and wrapped up the song. But let me tell you, there's been a lot of talk and a ton of it swirling around this whole incident. Rumor has it that Jay, who's a solid 10 years older than Maya, supposedly made a move on her and she wasn't having any of it and she shut him down cold. But get this, instead of owning up to it, word on the streets is that he tried to spin the narrative painting Maya as an ungrateful and spoiled diva. Now fast forward to 2014 when rumors started swirling about Jay Z cheating on Beyonce. Maya got dragged into the drama again, with tabloids speculating that she and Jay Z had an affair, but Maya wasn't having that either. She shut down those rumors real quick and even threw a little shade Jay's way, hinting that she'd never lower herself to be his mistress. When a fan on Instagram straight up asked Maya if she was Jay Z's side chick, she did not mince words. She hit back with, never did, never was, never will. But she didn't stop there either. Maya made it clear and doubled down that she plays by her own rules and pays her own bills. She said, I play second to no one, pay my own bills, have my own label, own management company, rely on God only, and respect myself in marriage too much for nonsense. And when Jay Z and Beyonce might be household names, Maya has zero regrets about stepping away from the industry to protect her integrity.
Outside of your box, which is why I named my label Planet 9. It's the furthest from Earth. I have had to create my own rules, my own standards to live by, you know, and do things in my own time. You know, my planet might not necessarily rotate around the sun 365 days. It might take me 7 years to do something in my own time versus one Earth year. But I have to put myself in a completely different world and environment just to function and stay good, stay alive, you know, and stay happy.
Maya also explained how the big shots in the industry get a kick out of wielding their power in all the wrong ways. It's a dark side of the industry that makes it very risky, especially for young folks who are laser focused on making it and might not realize what they're giving up in the process.
Those in power, you know, that want to abuse it and get off on abusing it, definitely plot on their prey, you know, and you have to be willing to sacrifice anything that you think you might benefit from, a career, etc., and say no, period. and learn how to do it yourself.
And when Maya was asked about how she kept herself clear of all the negative drama, she kept it real simple. She said no and walked away. But here's the kicker. She hinted that her refusal to play along with certain folks is exactly what landed her in hot water. Saying no to the wrong people apparently got her blackballed and dragged through the mud.
This is what I did. I said, no, I'm good, thank you. No, thank you. Okay, so sometimes that doesn't translate as far as what you are allowed to have, what you have access to. You will be blackballed. You will be talked about. You will be shitted on. You will be rumored about. But you have to stand strong on what you don't care for. It's not that serious to me, you know, if I have to sell my soul. And people will still try to manipulate. I understand that I might have sacrificed something in the physical world, but the spiritual world is not worth it. You're okay. You don't need to do anything. What you need to do is protect every part of your life, your spirit especially, because everything else is connected to that. There are some people, not everyone, that have huge egos, you know, and awful mindsets towards men, towards women, towards people. And it's very difficult to be around. It's just very difficult. And the way they define success is not your idea of success.
And like I said earlier, Maya is hardly the only woman who allegedly had her career sabotaged for standing up to the Carters. Let's talk about this young lady, Tierra Marie, who recently became a trending topic on social media after a blind item alleged that she was manipulated and passed around between different music execs, one of them reportedly being Jay Z. Tierra got her big break when she was discovered at the age of 16 by L.A. Reid and signed to Def Jam around the same time as Rihanna. Now here's where it gets interesting. L.A. Reid spilled the tea in his memoir, revealing that the label originally thought Tierra was going to be the next big thing, but then Beyonce swooped in and put her 2 cents in and telling them to switch their focus to Rihanna instead. And Reid said he had an in-house company showcase and Beyonce happened to be there with Jay Z, Tierra Marie, Rihanna, a 4-girl group called Black Butterfly, and Neo performed. At the label, we thought Tierra Marie would be a big star. We spent more time on her, did more work for her, paid more attention to her. A bell went off for me, however, when after the showcase, Beyonce came up to me and said, that Rihanna girl, she's a beast. But here's the scoop from this viral blind item. Rumor has it that Beyonce threw a wrench in Tierra's career because she found out Jay Z was getting cozy with her. But it gets even more sinister. The blind item suggests that L.A. Reid, who discovered Tierra, got in on the action too and allegedly slept with her. Keep in mind that L.A. Reid is 31 years older than Tierra, and the blind item goes on to claim that Tierra was somehow sold off to Ray J, who apparently had his hands in all sorts of shady dealings involving young female artists. Ray J then supposedly brought Tierra to Jay Z's attention.
Soon, she was sold to this pseudo corn star and celebrity sibling. Can also take a guess at that one. He loves controlling vulnerable women. It is his specialty. Anyway, he started controlling the career of this singer. He brought her to the attention of this A+ list rapper and mogul, allegedly Jay Z.
So back in 2006, Ray J and Tierra were an item, but here's where it gets crazy. Out of nowhere, Jay Z decided to kick Tierra to the curb from his label, and that same year. After Jay signed Tierra to Def Jam, he dropped their debut album, Rockefeller Records Presents Tierra Marie, in August 2005, and it was a big hit, climbing all the way to number 5 in the Billboard 200 and hitting number 2 on the top R&B hip-hop albums chart. But fast forward the next year, and things took a sudden nosedive. Tierra was in the middle of working on her second album when production came to a screeching halt. She got a call from the label right before her high school graduation and prom, dropping the bombshell that they were cutting ties with her. And get this, after that call, Tierra said she never heard a peep from Jay Z again.
I'm no longer on the label because, well, to be honest with you, I don't know why I'm no longer on the label, but I know that I just took some time off to finish school or whatnot, and then, you know, in the midst of that, I was in Detroit, and I just got a phone call, like, I think I was getting ready for prom or something, and they were like, you know, we're gonna be letting you go, you're young, you have a bright future ahead of you, you know, the womp womp talk, and that's how it happened. I was shocked. I was sad because Jay didn't call me himself, you know, Jay Brown called me, and I was, you know, confused because I didn't know why.
Tierra also revealed that Jay Z initially played the role of a father figure in her life, only to cut her off without a word of explanation.
He was like a father figure at the time, but right now, I can't say that because, I don't talk to him anymore. And he didn't even call me and tell me bye-bye, so.
But here's a curious coincidence. Remember Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy? Well, she claimed that Diddy pulled the same exact move when they first crossed paths and acted like a father figure. Cassie's lawsuit said, emphasizing the age and power dynamic early on in their working relationship, Mr. Combs positioned himself as a father figure and protector of Miss Ventura. Now going back to this blind item, Jay Z supposedly gave Tierra the boot because he was getting cozy with her behind the scenes and Beyonce caught wind of it. But it gets even messier, y'all. Ray J had his eyes on Tierra too. When he found out about Jay Z's involvement, he was not pleased. Word on the streets is that Jay dropped Tierra faster than he signed her, just to keep the peace. The drama didn't stop there. The blind item also suggests that Jay Z went on a step further and basically put a stop to Tierra's career to the point where no label wanted to sign her.
He signed her to a deal. By the time all of the ink was dry, she was just shy of being legal. But that didn't stop the mogul. He liked to sample the new talent. He was sampling her on a fairly regular basis, but he was also involved with the current A+ list singer who was in his face every day. And this could allegedly be Beyonce. Thing is though, that corn star in charge of her career was feuding with the mogul and told the mogul he would not be allowed to hook up with the singer again. I assume he thought the mogul would think she was something special. Apparently not as special as the current A+ lister, because the new signee was dropped and the word was put out on the street. No record deals for her from any label.
What's also sad is that after Tierra got the boot from Def Jam, things took a rough turn for her. She ended up struggling with substance use and had to check herself into rehab. And a lot of folks think that this downward spiral is a direct result of diving into the industry at such a tender age and being surrounded by all these shady men. By the way, this story about Tierra recently resurfaced amid the rumors that Jay Z is just as bad as Diddy. In fact, in a recent interview, Jaguar dropped a bombshell claiming that Jay Z's low profile these days isn't because he's cleaned up his act, it's because he's worse than Diddy.
Sean Carter is worse.
Oh man.
He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy. This pussy been lining up people he calls friends and stepping to the side while they get hit by the guillotine for 30 fucking years.
Jaguar also spilled tea about Jay Z allegedly doing something horrible and terrible to a woman he's close with, who also happened to be in the industry. And get this, Jaguar revealed that she's been battling against this injustice for a whopping 15 years.
He pushed somebody I love too far.
Oh.
And you know who I'm talking about, bitch. We were kids. We were in our 20s. How fucking long do you expect her to have to suffer fucking the bad choice of fucking you? Yes, she's in the industry. Yes, she was put in exile. No, she wasn't perfect, but she was. Everything still is.
Now going back to 50 Cent and his whole issue with the Carters. Apparently 50 has no intentions of burying the hatchet with Jay Z and Beyonce. Not anytime soon at least. These two are all about business and will put it all and above anyone and anything else. In a recent sit down with Big Boy TV, 50 dropped a bombshell alleging that Jay Z tried to pull some strings with the NFL to mess up his performance at the 2022 Super Bowl. However, Eminem then stepped in and laid down the law, telling Jay that he wouldn't perform unless 50 was there too.
Jay Z and them was putting it together. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. I think that they were saying the NFL had some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, what is the issue?
Grow apart or fade away,
Right.
or you want to start a different life, a different family. So, are you good now that you say I don't have that or?
Well, you know what? It does feel good to have it be a singular focus.
By the way, when 50 Cent swung by the beat with Ari Melber, the topic of the Billboard ranking Jay Z as the #1 greatest rapper of all time came up, and 50 dropped a hint that Jay only snagged that top spot because he puts business above people.
Oh, talent. Nas, the best. Jay Z.
Good business.
Get rich or die trying.
Classy.
Now take that as you wish, but some folks are saying the Carters are simply smart business people and they know how to work the cutthroat music industry to their advantage. Others, however, think that there's nothing admirable about Jay Z and Beyonce because they've allegedly stepped on their own people on their way to the top, while at the same time posing as role models of black excellence for the public. Somebody said, 50 Cent is on point with his theory about Jay Z and Beyonce's dynasty. They have both hurt others to accomplish their own fame and fortune. Unfortunately, karma often misses the evil elite who deserve it most. And then there's this other person that wrote, I distinctly remember Jay-Z on the brink of retiring, even did a farewell concert. Next thing, he marries Beyonce and he was bigger than he ever was. Pretty sure that was when he took the oath because his stardom shot through the roof. Jay-Z better look over his shoulder. The time is coming to pay the piper. 2024 is the year of karma, and the age of Aquarius is doing its job in revealing what has been hidden. Buckle up, people. We're in for a wild ride. But what do y'all think about all this tea about the Carters and their supposed shady moves behind the closed doors? Do you think they actually played a part in sidelining or even destroying the careers of all these talented artists? Drop your thoughts and comments below, and then check out my next video.